Hi Charlie, welcome to my 22nd video polling experiment day, where I break down and analyze the LinkedIn poll that I posted last week and that closed this morning. Now, today is February 9th, and if you're a football or general sports fan, you know perfectly well that today is the day of the 2025 Super Bowl. Now, I can't say that I've ever been particularly interested in the Super Bowl, except sometimes they have some funny commercials. And that's also the day when companies put their best foot forward and actually try to make their commercials entertaining and memorable rather than dull and skippable for watching YouTube videos or something. But I can't say that I've ever been interested in the football game itself. Nevertheless, I'm aware that when you're on social media, you have to make sure you're posting relevant topics. And everyone knows right now that the Super Bowl is extremely relevant, hence why I've asked at least 4, maybe 5 Super Bowl related questions last week. Now, kicking off this Super Bowl Bonanza week was the poll that I posted last Sunday, which is the Super Bowl overrated? There were 3 answer choices: yes, no, and never heard of it. Unsurprisingly, this poll question garnered a slightly above average number of votes. It's 93 votes, compared to my usual average of about 80 to 85 votes per poll. So anyway, on to the breakdown of the answer choices. 62% of voters said yes, the Super Bowl is overrated. 37% said no, the Super Bowl is not overrated. And 1%, I guess that means just one voter, admitted that they had never heard of it. So I'm not necessarily surprised that my audience in particular are not exactly avid fans of the Super Bowl, because they do tend to be established professionals who use LinkedIn more frequently than average. For instance, I have some voters who do so consistently on a daily basis, which means they're probably scrolling through LinkedIn almost every single day. So it kind of makes sense that this audience in particular would not necessarily be the most avid sports fan. Also, just because of my college major and my past work experience, many of my connections who end up becoming my consistent poll voters tend to work in the financial services industry or other professional fields. Like, these are pretty dedicated people who probably find their fulfillment in things not necessarily related to sports. So anyway, all that to say, I'm not really surprised by these results, but they certainly don't reflect the broader American population as a whole, nor am I ever going to claim that they do. Now, on to some fascinating statistics about the Super Bowl and the NFL. The NFL, which stands for the National Football League, it's the organization that hosts the Super Bowl. All NFL teams earned $20.24 billion in earnings annually. Now, that is a lot of money, and I would love to earn even a fraction of that someday, but kudos to the NFL for making this pretty niche sport of American football. Like, nowhere else in the world is it played to nearly this extent. Such a lucrative money-making machine. Also, the average NFL per game attendance is about 69.4 thousand people. In-game 2024 Super Bowl ads generated a whopping $650 million in revenue, and 60% of Americans watched the 2023 Super Bowl. I can assure you I was not one of the 60%. 71.1% of viewers consider Super Bowl ads entertainment. I am included in that statistic. I do find them quite entertaining, and even if those ads are not necessarily very funny, it's kind of interesting to sort of reverse engineer the ad itself, kind of try to think about the ad's creation from the company's perspective, like what audience are they targeting, why did they choose these specific celebrities to promote the product, etc. Also, the 2024 Super Bowl was the most watched NFL and television event in history, with 123.4 million viewers. Again, I was not one of those viewers. I did hear that attendance was substantially boosted by pop star Taylor Swift's attendance in support of her boyfriend, tight end Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. That is the team that ended up winning the 2024 Super Bowl, and a lot of people suspect that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be winning the Super Bowl again this year, making them, if that actually happens, the first team to win the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. But as Super Bowl history shows, even a team that wins twice or 3 times in a row that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to enjoy decades of success. For instance, the Green Bay Packers won the first Super Bowl back in the 60s, and now they're barely a blip on the radar when it comes to the football championships when winter comes around. So anyway, Charlie, I know I'm not really an expert in sports. I don't know much about the NFL or the Super Bowl beyond the numerical statistics about, ironically, about things that are not related to the actual game, but more like to the money-making aspect of that game. But I hope you enjoyed my 2 cents on the topic, and stay tuned for my 23rd video polling analysis tomorrow. Bye, Charlie, and have a wonderful day.